Jimbo for Real presents the X's and O's NFL podcast featuring Jimbo and others to come. Oh, you can stay here, Autumn. You can stay. Okay, then watch it right over there. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, so there's that. That would be, I guess, my new intro. Yeah, I guess that's the intro there. Well, I mean, we're back for part two on the first day of the legal tampering period of free agency, and we went off the air at roughly 20 earlier today, and now it's a couple hours later, and a lot of news to catch up on. But yeah, let's just dive right in and excuse me and get started catching up on everything. And meanwhile, I'll message a few people to see if they're going to be joining me. Some of the more recent stuff to go down would be that the 49ers have come to an agreement with Sam Darnold to be, I guess, their third string quarterback. Yeah, I don't like I don't know. Like, you're taking a it feels like they're just taking a quarterback off of the market. You know that, or unless there's some real injury concern with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, which it could easily be. Maybe one of them just not recovering as quickly as they want it to be. I'm not going to over speculate. Meanwhile, the Browns also come to a deal with Obo Akaranko, so to play defensive end for them. So yeah, those are the two of the more recent ones that have went down. Again, the Darnold thing, I don't think it really affects much, other than it takes away the option of Darnold playing for another team. The Buccaneers actually came to terms with one of their own, giving Jamel Dean a 4-year, $52 million deal. That is as per Adam Schefter. So the Bucks somehow retaining, despite the fact that they don't have any money. I'm sure they'll finagle and get it all, ready by the time by the time the deadline comes around on Wednesday. So that's really not that surprising that they would bring back Jamel Dean. He's been an important part of their secondary for a few years now. Twitter's pointing out that there were 0 wide receiver deals made today. Teams are not budging to high valuations. Yeah, now that kind of makes sense. And the Commanders, speaking of cornerbacks that have been going places, the Commanders re-signed one of their own as a depth piece, and now they have signed Cameron Dantzler from Minnesota. So the Commanders blustering up their defense a little, even more. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with some of the moves that they've made today. And yeah, well, still do not have a quarterback, but I'm guessing they're going to take care of that with the draft. I don't know. I don't know where the Commanders are taking care of that, what their plan is or whatnot. So maybe they'll be one of the teams offering to Lamar Jackson in on Wednesday. Who knows? All right, we have that. We have the Dancer. We have Dean. All right. Right after I left before, we had some big news. The Bears, who had been quiet since the opening part of free agency, had decided to make 2 splashes right after I left. This is almost 2 hours old news now, but it's the first time it's being covered. The Bears are finally going at it. Not only did they add TJ Edwards earlier today, but they add another linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds. TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds later in the day. So now they've gone from having to really just one playable linebacker to having to having three strong linebackers on their team. In addition to that, they didn't stop there. Tremaine Edmonds was a 4-year, $72 million deal. And Nate Davis, guard Nate Davis, they signed him from the Tennessee Titans to a 3-year, $30 million deal. So far during the course of this, free agency period, the Bears have come up with Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Nate Davis, and let's also count getting a nice draft pick overhaul and DJ Moore for the first pick overall. The Bears have put together a very nice little collection over free agency. I think before we left, we covered the Josh Oliver and the Jermaine Pratt moves. So yeah, we actually did. Texans signed, I guess, a backup quarterback in Casey Keenum. Yeah. Texans continue to make moves and they continue to be underwhelming. 2 years, 6.25 million. I'm really not sure what to make of this here. I guess this means, like, I don't know, Davis Mills, Casey Keenum, and draft a rookie like Bryce Young. Who knows? They're certainly a surprising team. I can tell you that much. We'll find out how surprising as time goes on. Cincinnati also lost both of their safeties during the last 2 hours too. It started when Von Bell went to the Carolina Panthers. Then about a half hour later, Jesse Bates went to the Atlanta Falcons. Carolina continues to be like, we don't have an offense. Let's make our defense better. Like, I don't know. Carolina's going to try winning games 7-3 or 6-3 or 9-6. That's apparently the way that they're going to try to win this year. 3-0, 2-0, 5-3. Whatever. It's pretty clear that it's like, yeah, no, we don't need an offense. We're just going to continue to. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like getting Von Bell was a good thing. It's definitely better than the Shy Tuttle move that I closed last episode with. But you're just kind of hoping that it was a wide receiver or a running back or something. Meanwhile, Jesse Bates goes and joins David Onyemata and also Bradley Pinion and the trade for Jonnu Smith earlier today. The Falcons were slowly just putting together a solid free agency period without going too far over the limit. I like what they're doing. Browns re-signed their center, Ethan Pockett. So yeah, brought him back. The deal is going to be $18 million over a 3-year period. Marshawn Lattimore has agreed to restructure his contract with the New Orleans Saints. So it's going to be saving looks like upwards of $6 million with the restructure, potentially even more. So yep, we have that going on. The Saints trying to get ready to get under the cap. The Lions also talk about the Browns bringing back their center. The Lions bring back their linebacker, Alex Anzalone. So he's getting a 3-year deal worth $18.75 million to come back to the Lions. The Jesse Bates deal was 4 years for $64 million to join the Falcons. And I don't think I have numbers for the Von Bell deal, but it's somewhere right in this. I'd have to imagine it's somewhere in the same ballpark. Another member of a secondary that moved to a nice location was Patrick Peterson has become a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We covered before earlier in this one that you give a little interior help, you put a cornerback on that team, and you let that offense continue to develop around the young quarterback, and the Steelers are looking good. And they managed to snag a really good cornerback to put back there to make it a suffocating defense, a big play defense, even better than it was before. So Sutton to Peterson, I guess, is reasonably close, but I really like Patrick Peterson, even if he is starting to get up there in age. Um, the Giants got on the board of free agency today with Raheem Nunez Roaches. With Raheem Nunez Roach, defensive tackle. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. Though I will say this: the Giants are really good at developing defensive tackles, so I'm sure this guy will turn out to be a reasonably big deal by the end of the season, and then will continue his services on elsewhere. The Giants do a excellent job, so maybe look at this name as an up and comer. And after that, that's where we're at. So we've seen a lot of movement in the secondary over the course of the last 2 hours. Cam Dancer, Patrick Peterson, Jesse Bates, Von Bell. We've seen a lot of movement from the Bears. We've seen some good movement from the Falcons today. Some signs of life from Tampa Bay. A few signs of life from Cleveland. You still kind of wonder what Cleveland is doing, though, because they did that whole huge restructure to save 36 million in cap space at the beginning of this day, and these numbers just aren't adding up yet. Like, why restructure the 36 million? There's got to be some sort of big deal. I'm guessing probably with a wide receiver. It's just the wide receiver market is going clearly. The wide receivers are asking for more money than the teams are willing to pay at this current point in time. It'll be a waiting period, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure at some point in time someone is going to break, and I guess we'll find out. We might not see any wide receiver action till tomorrow. It's getting late in today, and yeah. So I'm going to send out a few messages and check with Josh joining me. But yeah, no, that's been the action as that's been the action as we've been gone for the last couple of hours. So checking on the page really quick to see what exactly is going on. We are on the round 2. I'm going to like this. I'm going to share it to my page. Share public now. And that has been where we're at this point in time. So as far as the Bengals losing both members of our secondary, I guess this is a faith in Dax Hill, but I'd have to wonder, is there going to be a Bengals move at some point in time in the near future that makes it to that that helps to make up for the fact that they lost both members of their secondary. Washington continues to improve a defense that should return to that could possibly return to an elite form that we saw 2 seasons ago. Time will tell. Is that 2 seasons ago or is that 3 seasons ago now? Now that I'm thinking about it. No, I think it's only 2 seasons ago still. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. But Atlanta subtly improving their team. Carolina not quite going the way that you would have pictured them going. Very quiet day from the Patriots, other than moving Johnny Smith, signing Jonathan Jones. Dolphins have a backup quarterback for Tua. Would be nice to get him some lineman help. The Chiefs and the Bills both got some lineman help. Nothing on the New York Jets, Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes at this point in time. Teams that, and one of the bigger stories is, as of right now, wide receivers and running backs. We still haven't seen a wide receiver or a running back sign yet, which means there's definitely some posturing going on for who's going to set the market, who's going to allow the market to get set. Is it going to be a favorable market to the players? Is it going to be a favorable market to the teams? only time will tell because, at some point in time, someone's going to break, and we don't know if it's going to be a GM in the front office or if it's going to be a player. So, and that's where that's where we're right now. Still a lot of talented linebackers yet left. Only 2 linebackers been taken off the market, and that was by the not the Buffalo Bills. It was by the Chicago Bears both times. So it'd be interesting. Defensive tackles are getting paid. Offensive tackles are getting paid. And some decent money going to some cornerbacks at this point in time, too. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Anybody on? I see someone watching. Let's see if we have we got some Tremaine Edmonds cashes in, allowing a career low 4.4 yards per target last season, the lowest amongst linebackers with a minimum of 30 targets. They'll team up with former Eagles linebacker TJ Edwards, who allowed 5.2 yards per target in 2022, 6th lowest amongst linebackers. So the Bears have themselves a pretty decent coverage linebacker duo. Makes you wonder where Jack Sanborn fits in the fits in it in his second year. So should be a really good 3 linebacker rotation as a whole. For those doing IDP fantasy, I think it's definitely confusing at this point in time. Makes me wish I had a share or 2 less of Jack Sanborn than I currently have, but yeah, we'll see as time tells. I'm not going to rush to get in or rid of any because you never know injuries, what the rotation is going to look like. There's a lot of different factors that can play into it at this point in time. But yeah, I think my favorite move of the day is still Javon Hargrave to the 49ers, but Cam Dantzler to the Commanders is one that I like. Juwan Taylor to the Chiefs, another one I like. Connor McGovern to the Bills. I'm actually a fan of the Jesse Bates to the Carolina Falcons a little more than the Von Bell to the Carolina Panthers, mainly because one, I think it's covering a need much more than the other. But really, the biggest story of this that day one, it's not no Aaron Rodgers and Jets. It's not Jimmy G to the Raiders. It's not Javon Hargrave to the 49ers. It's the fact that we don't have a wide receiver or running back off the board yet. So, and the chess matches that it is getting played between general managers and the players at this current point in time. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I'd imagine that some of this is going to be wrapping up pretty soon. It would be yeah. Yeah, looking through everything, we're seeing more on Von Bell. Just trading. Jeremy Chin's value definitely goes up, especially with Von Bell there now. That Panthers defense is actually going to look pretty good. Was there not? Did we get a Van Noy signing at some point in time? I feel like there's a chance that there was a Van Noy signing. I didn't just see it in anything that I shared, but I thought, was there not? I thought that did Kyle Van Noy end up with the Panthers? Looking back over everything to make sure that I didn't miss giving you something. Oh. All right. Jamel Dean, Oko, Dantzler, Bates, Steelers, Patrick Peterson, Jermaine Edmonds, Nate Davis, Bates, Nunez Roach, Jimmy G. Still talking about Jimmy G. Oh, I guess it's big news to sound. I don't really feel like it changes too much in the grand scheme of what the Raiders were last year to what they could be this year. Getting back to Nate Davis, more Aaron Rodgers stuff. Davis, Casey Keenum, Chase Winovich. A lot of big moves for the Texans, I tell you. A lot of big moves for the Texans. Jermaine Pratt, Von Bell, Josh Oliver, Mike White. Yeah, let's look at a. I guess I didn't see Van Noy. I thought I saw something. The Titans have agreed to terms with former Eagle tackle Andre Dillard. So that is fresh 9 seconds ago. Nice. So yes, the Titans have just gotten a little bit of help for that offensive line with Andre Dillard. Excellent for them. The Commanders are also signing former Seahawk linebacker Cody Barton. All right, so yeah, we knew that the Commanders had to add a linebacker. They're adding Cody Barton from the Seahawks. That's actually pretty awesome news for both Barton and the Commanders. Barton and Davis next to each other in the middle of that defense. If Chase Young, like Darren Payne and Jonathan Allen were monstrous last season together, Chase Young even remotely comes back to even like 80% of what he was before. Okay, Autumn. Then this could be a very elite defense again. Adding Cameron Dantzler back there, they added a piece on their offensive line. The Commanders have put together a nice, solid day in free agency so far. I actually love this Cody Barton signing to the middle of that defense. I think he can do very well next to Jamin Davis. All right, so looking back, we've got more Jamel Dean news. Patrick Peterson. Let's see. Is there Bates, Keenum, Nate Davis, Ethan Pockett, Josh Oliver, Panthers, Pratt, Taylor. Yeah, I guess we don't have anything on Van Noy yet, but we do have the two most recent things with the Commanders signing Cody Barton from the Seahawks. It'd be interesting to see who the next man up with the Seahawks is. And the Titans signing Andre Dillard from the Philadelphia Eagles. Liking what I'm seeing so far. You know, the Commanders continue to put together one of the stronger days of free agency so far. And honestly, I might actually like it more than what the Broncos did early on, to be completely honest. Commanders and Falcons, with their most recent moves, I think Commanders are moving up to my number one for the day, and Falcons. I'll have to compare the Falcon stuff next to the Broncos stuff, but right now they're at the 2-3 spot for me. Oh no, Bears! Wow, how could I forget the Bears? I think I still prefer the moves that the Commanders made, with the Bears at number 2 and probably the Falcons at 3, the Broncos at 4, and maybe the 49ers at 5, just based off of the one move. But it's close. I feel like another team has a potential to steal that spot with some has a chance to steal that spot with a chance with a good signing or two. Maybe it's the 49ers. Maybe they have another signing of them to solidify it instead. But yeah, looking at everything, it's been a decent day so far. I could have sworn I saw something with Kyle Van Noy, though. Is there? Let's jump off Twitter and run to Google for Kyle Van Noy. Nah, nothing. Oh, nothing. Okay. It must have been when I was having the conversation with Graydon earlier today, and he was saying someone that he would like the Bears to get. I guess that's what I'm remembering. Thought I thought I saw that Carolina picked them up, but must be fake news. Let me look at Panthers free agency. So far, yeah, no, that's it. Just the two free agents, Shai Tuttle, Von Bell. Oh well. But yeah, hello, hello for those who have just joined. We're staying up to date as everything is happening in the league right now. The most recent additions that have been added to teams are Linebacker Cody Barton has become a member of the Washington Commanders, and tackle Andre Dillard has become a member of the Tennessee Titans. Those two, both within the last, one of them within the last 5 minutes, the other one within the last 20 minutes. They has started to slow down a little compared to what it was an hour ago, but I would still expect to see more as we're going on. It's not day's not over yet. I feel like people are going to be still making deals maybe till 7 o'clock or so. I'm not going to be on that full time. I'm just basically now looking to see if anybody wants to come on and chat how their team did during free agency today. Some moves that they still want to see. I covered all the info dump in the first show that was done earlier today. The free agents available, top 100 free agents. But every free agent, almost every free agent, the major players that are all there, team needs, that's all covered in the earlier show today. Most of it was covered by within the first hour and a half as far as the info itself goes. It was done in between while, covering the various different things that were done. We had guest spots from Braden and Dave, so that was fun. But yeah, right now it's looking to just shoot the breeze, talk free agency, and see if anybody is coming on to join me. And obviously staying as close to up to the minute as possible. But yeah, scroll. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Cole Holcomb is probably not returning to the Washington Commanders. Definitely fair to say that that's a true statement with a true statement with what Cody Barton landing there. Oh, we have somebody who very nice, neat posts a while back. It's 139. So Cowboys signing nobody, just going through Twitter. Come on, do something to the Giants. But yeah, earlier action today, we had Javon Hargrave to the 49ers, Mike McGlinchey to the Denver Broncos, Ben Powers to the Denver Broncos, TJ Edwards, Chicago Bears, Cameron Sutton to the Lions, David Onyemata to the Falcons, Jonathan Jones to the Pats, Keyshawn Nixon to the Packers, Jared Stidham to the Broncos, Shy Tuttle to the Panthers, and Nick Gates to the Commanders. A lot more has happened since then. Big winners of today's free agency so far. Right now, my top five is, I'd have to give it a little more thought, but my top five right now includes the Washington Commanders, the Atlanta Falcons, the Denver Broncos, and the Chicago Bears. And then, I'd have to reglance at everything to see how I feel about the final spot. Still, my favorite signing of the day is the Javon Hargrave. Yeah, and I'm not sure that that's going to change. I like that pairing there. So, we have a new tweet. Oh wow, we already covered that like 10 minutes ago. The Andre Dillard news. Catch up, right? Yep. Looking through. I'm still going, but if you want to jump on with me for a few minutes, No, why not, little love? Oh, watching a video, little love. The Giants are bringing back running back Matt Breida on a 1-year deal. Okay, so we have another. Is this our first running back getting signed? I mean, it's not that exciting. He's going to be a backup. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be Saquon Barkley's backup, so I don't know how exciting this is. But but yeah, we have a running back. We officially have a running back signed. And I have pizza. So yeah, is there anybody out there? Is anybody seeing moving it around? Hello, hello. Nothing new yet. Getting through all the posts. Looking at stuff. Looking at stuff. It is kind of a shame that the Bears decided to need to bring two linebackers. Really would have liked to see more of Jack Sanborn this season. But they paid for one bat linebacker, they overpaid for another. That does kind of bum me a little. Yeah, don't really it has slowed down a bit. Yeah. Well, I'm we have new stuff. We have new stuff. Another free agent departs from the Eagles. Wow, the Eagles are losing everyone today. This time it's Marcus Epps getting signed by the Raiders. Okay. Honestly, I'm not sure I have an opinion on this one way or another. The Raiders need help in the secondary. So yeah, good. I guess I just never had a strong opinion on Marcus Epps. Like I'm fully aware of him, like in a few different. He's been rostered as a spot start in a few IDP leagues, but he wasn't really all that high up on the Eagles depth chart at safety, to my knowledge. I mean, he's not the first person I think of when I think Eagles safety. I guess he was a starter though, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Either way, I guess it's a loss for the. It's definitely a loss for the Eagles. It's definitely a gain for the Raiders. So, and I guess that's all I'm going to say about it right now. To be completely honest, I've never formed a strong opinion on Epps in the past, and so I guess I don't have a strong opinion on this free agency transaction, other than the Raiders did need another member of another good addition to their secondary, and the Eagles had a great secondary last year. So, yeah, I'm sure losing yet another piece of their defense will make things a little more challenging. But at the same time, you know, Edwards gone, Epps gone, but I think the Eagles would be just fine. I don't think this defense has suddenly become bad because Javon Hargrave gone. Wow, Hargrave was pretty big for them last year. I don't know. They still have key players, and they still have a lot of key players in that defense. So I wouldn't be worrying quite yet, though. They they have lost a lot today. Wow. Yeah, and I guess the losses will probably continue too, being that they have a lot of players still on free agency, and they really aren't signing anyone yet. How much salary cap do the Eagles have again? I need to double check that to see. Looking. Philadelphia, Philly does not really have anything to spend as far as salary cap goes. I mean, they do have something to spend. Yeah, they're at 8.8 million. So in theory, they could retain someone if they wanted to. We'll see who it is and at what point in time it is. Man, I really wish the Jets knew what was going on with Aaron Rodgers. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they do. We got some tweets going up. Marcus Epps, the contract, 2 years, $12 million deal, nearly $8 million of it guaranteed. Started all 20 games for Philadelphia last season. Now he cashes in. So yeah, he was the other starter. It's my apologies for believing he was part of a rotation. He definitely was the main starter for them, and it will be a loss. I've just never formed a strong opinion on him one way or another. Okay, that's my fault, not his. So yeah, I think I like it more for the Raiders now. I'm still not sure that Epps and Jimmy G together is putting them into my top five. Maybe another piece. Maybe. But yeah. People celebrating the downfall of the Eagles. I don't think that's I think the Eagles will still be just fine. Wow. It's crazy today. Someone tweets it's crazy how we haven't had one fantasy relevant free agent signing yet. And then retweeted by someone, definitely not the case today. Has been Plenty busy on the IDP side. Perhaps give both sides of the ball a try. Boom. You tell him, Master IDP. Uh, anyone joining? Anyone out there? Anyone want to talk what their team is done in free agency today? If I don't get a guest by 6:30, I think I'm gonna call it, unless we get some sort of really major news at that point in time. We get some next gen stats on Cody Barton. Cody Barton showed off his range last season, accumulating 23 hustle stops. Barton recorded an 8.2% defensive stop rate in 2022, which was higher than any linebacker on the Commanders, and was tied for second in the league, with Devin White behind Foya Luaku. Cool. One ahead of Dre Greenlaw and Nick Bolton. Some pretty decent company to be in. I always kind of liked him last year. Had a lot of shares with him in IDP leagues. Traded a few shares too. It was a nice bench piece. I think with the Commanders, it'll be even better though. Not that that second spot in the Seahawks isn't good. Be interesting to see who steps up and takes that role. But yeah. Watching me on a delay. Raiders are, well, that's old news. Old news. Yeah, no, I think that if the Jets don't get Aaron Rodgers, we kind of have to go all in on the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. Oh, yeah. Better than it being Zach Wilson. Oh, yeah. Looking through, anything new, anything new. It has been a pretty great day for IDP. It has been. Wow. Tremor, you just felt is the collective sigh of your Jets family. Ah, man, really just want that to be Hello, little love. How are you? I am quite well. Looking through. Anybody out there? Anyone want to talk about their team's free agency haul so far? Ooh, excuse me. Nice signing, Richie Blaine. James played free safety for Atlanta. Oyster. Well, honestly, right now there isn't. Looking at stuff. Looking at stuff. Trying to see. Trying to see if anything relevant pops up. Feels like stuff is happening, but I'm not seeing it yet. Looking at stuff. Looking at stuff. Looking at stuff. Looking at stuff. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Adding Dax Hill. Adding Dax Hill. Looking at stuff. Looking at stuff. All right. So, oh, hello. We have people watching. Yeah, no, we haven't had any news in a bit. I think the last piece of news that we had was it wasn't the Cody Barton one. It was the doop the Marcus Epps news. He became a Raider. Um, yeah, and right now it's kind of dying down a little. If you want to be a part of the show, feel free to jump on. The Zoom link is in the notes. If not, I'll be signing off in probably another 10 minutes or so. I think it's pretty safe to say that we've slowed down a bit for the day. Jets free agency tracker. That's funny. Boobadoo, boobadoo. Yeah, I feel like there's a chance that we might not be getting too much more. Slowed down quite a bit. So we had a lot of action today. I like what the Falcons are doing. Little like that the Bears are active, but I don't love every move that they made. I really like every move that the Washington Commanders made. There was another team that was impressing me. What was it? Um, it was Bears, Commanders, Falcons, and why? How am I not remembering them now? Um, boop a doop a doo. Um, wow, I am completely forgetting what I've just been saying for like the last for the last bit. Looking through real quick. Um, where I'm how am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. Oh, Broncos. Yeah, because they did everything earlier today, but they haven't done anything since. So yeah, no, I definitely like what the Broncos did today. Definitely a fan of what the Commanders did today. The Commanders is more recent. I think I like the Commander stuff more in the end. I'm like Broncos versus Falcons. I'm really not sure. I have to give that a little more thought, but those are definitely my two and three. Chicago's settled into my four. The Raiders with when we can't look at it from Derek Carr to Jimmy G. You got to look at it from basically no one to Jimmy G. And so I do kind of appreciate them getting Marcus Epps and Jimmy G. So I'd probably land them in my fifth spot right now. As far as individual moves that I thought were really good today, the Bucks being able to re-sign Jamal Dean was nice. The the Javon Hargrave is still my favorite move of the day, and it's not even all that close. Um, uh, Jawan Taylor to the Chiefs, Connor McGovern to the Bills. I know I've said all this stuff a few times, but yeah, it still moves that I appreciate and thought were good. Patrick Peterson to the Steelers, definitely something that I think works out nice for them. Browns making some a little bit of a noise, but nothing too crazy in my opinion at this point in time. Mike White, I'm sure, will work out well as a backup for the Dolphins. Texans just kind of making a bunch of small moves that I don't really believe are adding up to much of a change in that team at all at this current point in time. And as much as I like what they did with Von Bell, I feel like the Panthers have been on the wasteful side of their cap space at this point in time. I also don't love the 49er pickup of Sam Darnold. Um, Still plenty more to go. There's still plenty more out there at this point in time. But yeah, as far as the teams that have done well, one of my favorite moves off of those teams, like the Cameron Dancer to Washington, the Cody Barton to Washington. Two of the stronger moves of the day, I think, would definitely be at least in my top 10 moves of the day. So I'm giving day one to Washington at this point in time. So if you disagree, then feel free to leave a message in the comments. But yeah, I'm giving day one to Washington. This is at roughly 6:30, 6:24 to be exact. Let's make sure that while we were talking, let's see. Oh, well, I'm not even sure what that is. Uh, we got some Patrick Peterson next gen stats. Fourth and 20 replacement for an onside kick. Eagles are going for that proposal again. Yeah. Cool. Cool Patrick Peterson stuff. But yeah, no, it's oh, that's where we're at. I have Washington number one on the day, and if Atlanta would have signed a wide receiver, I think I would have had them number two. I like what they did, but I like the Broncos shoring up the offensive line with the two guys that they picked up that much more, and have a nice contingency plan with Stidham behind Russell Wilson. I mean, and I think what the moves that the Broncos did were just more blatantly obvious that they spent more money, but at the same time, and yes, the Jesse Bates move does help to catch it up, but I think that the Broncos were a tad splashier, and I'm going to give them credit for just being prepared right out the gate. So I'm going to give them the tie over the Falcons today, but the tiebreaker over the Falcons today. But the Falcons in a very close, sir. And though honestly, I would put Chicago higher. I would put them up in second, but I actually don't like how their second signing of a linebacker has put Jack Sanborn a lot more out of the picture after I've been thinking about it. So it's almost feel like they potentially wasted that 72 million on Tremaine Edmonds. They could have had a just as effective a group with TJ Edwards and Jack Sanborn as opposed to, TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Or swap out either one of the two. The point is, I think they gave a big contract when they didn't need to give one, which is why I'll bump them down to fourth. But yeah. And then my fifth on the list would be the Raiders, mainly because I love the Javon Hargrave signing for the 49ers, the Sam Darnold one just kind of has me, yeah. So, and I actually like both signings for the Raiders. And if you're not looking at it as a Derek Carr for Jimmy G, and you're looking at it as a Jimmy G to replace basically a no quarterback, then you know it's clear that they made an upgrade there. So yeah, yeah, that's all for now. We are at 6:28. I do not see any new news. Yeah, I do not yeah. Yeah, it looks like things have gone a little quiet on the Twitter front. Doesn't look like we're really getting much traction on the Facebook Live with the Zoom, and I'm gonna call it an evening and maybe see you guys tomorrow. It all really depends on how much is accomplished tomorrow. I'm pretty sure a fair amount would be, so I might jump on in the earlier afternoon to discuss it. It's a busy day for me here, so I don't know if it's definitely going to be gotten to or if it's going to be a part of Wednesday show instead. But yeah, I'll make an attempt to get on tomorrow. Unless there's some sort of crazy Aaron Rodgers news that drops tonight, in which case maybe I'll jump on a third time tonight and do a later recap of everything. But anyway, you look at it, I'm done for now. One final check, nothing on Twitter. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the JMO for Real experience. No guests this time around, so no specific thank yous to there, but you know, everyone, thank you for just being a part and showing up and watching and showing support. I appreciate it. Well, now I'm out. Like every last safety from Cincinnati.